What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and just want to thank everybody. We hit 8,000 subs. Been doing YouTube for a little bit over a year and a quarter, call it 15 months, 60 months, and it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride for sure. So thank you to everybody, and this is going to be a first for me. So I do want to apologize to the community. It's not for Pokemon, you dumbass Timmies. It's for Sorcery. I have talked so much shit on this management team, and it seems all of a sudden they managed to finally break MSRP. For the first time in the history, these guys managed to get their hand out of the pants and keep the boxes somewhere that aren't on the US market so the product has a chance to move up. So to the Eric's Curiosa team, I want to congratulate you guys on not fucking this up and finally figuring out what the market wants in a collectible game. Now, if you guys came out and just said, hey, we're done with beta, we're done reprinting, there might be a little bit more Arthurian Legends, and there has to be more Gothic, because you guys have to sell like 125,000 boxes, by my best guess, just to cover your annual cost. And since your once a year set's really once in every 15 month set, I mean, you're well on your way to actually being successful here. You just kind of got to stop pushing product to market. And this is what happens. I wasn't sure the sorcery community would buy boxes this high, but it's moving, and it's moving well. So after being critical of the constant fuck ups for 3 years now, seems like you guys have turned the corner. So, pat on the back, guys. Great fucking job. So that brings me to Pokemon. Yes, the reprints are coming. I haven't mentioned anything because I enjoy watching all of the dumbass Timmies in the comments bitch and moan about, I haven't heard anything from Distro, or, well, it's January 1st. Why aren't they here in Q1? Stop. Let me walk you guys through a little bit of an educational process here. So, the Pokemon Company, and we're going to walk through ETBs first. For those of you who have opened Elite Trainer boxes previously, this is a configuration. You have this little paper thing in here. Here you have the energies, the dividers, the sleeves, and here you have the packs. These packs have historically been hand-packed by a living human being in these ETBs. It's very, very inefficient, and there has been no reason for the Pokemon Company, otherwise known as Millennium Print Group in this situation, to innovate because they haven't had any constraints in printing. So what did they do with Elite Trainer boxes? And the reason why we're getting so many Elite Trainer boxes, and again, you're not going to get this from Distro. You need to go further up the food chain and the supply chain, for that matter, to answer these questions. So what they did was they figured out a way. So if we look at this here, I don't even know who this dude is, but thank you for stealing video. So here they have a little molded plastic thing that they are physically inserting sideways into the box. So they can pack these automatically now via their machines. So they're laying the packs in sideways. And you see all this wiggle room here, which you don't have here. Because here, if you try to pack these in by machine, they're so tight. If you have anything be off by a millimeter, it just destroys things. Like, it's fucked. Moving to this, now you lay everything in here very, very gently, and you can nicely insert it into the ETB. Significantly increases the packing rate of Elite Trainer boxes. So let's fast forward to booster boxes. So currently, Pokemon Company, Millennium Print Group, they're running 2 shifts a day. I believe it's 2 shifts a day. 4 on, 3 off, I think. If I had to guess, I don't know anything, but if I had to guess, and they have an army of temporary employees who are hand packing booster boxes. So part of the reason why they've gotten away from booster boxes is because it is so fucking inefficient, because they haven't had the reason or quite honestly, the reason plus the time to modernize the packing facility. So part of the new facility is to help modernize these things. So currently, they're in the process of hand stuffing multiple million booster boxes. Phantasmal Flames, I believe Destin and Mega as well, but I think I've been pretty verbal about Phantasmal. The packaging itself was anticipated to be delivered the end of February, early March. Obviously, since there is an army of temporary employees hand stuffing booster boxes, it takes time. For those of you who've paid attention to Magic and paid attention to my videos, I've been telling everybody that there is a reprint of Lord of the Rings Commander coming. And initially it was scheduled for December. Then it got pushed to January. I guess technically it was originally scheduled for October. Then November, then December. All of a sudden it ended up coming in January, February, and here it is. So for 5 months, a lot of people called me a fucking idiot. They said I was wrong. That's okay. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. This is Pokemon. This is a children's game. There's a lot of people on YouTube watching this shit that are children. It just is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but this is a nice way of saying, just because I give you guys information and it doesn't happen at the snap of a finger because you're like, oh, squirrel, let's swipe left and fucking, watch a short and not pay any attention to the forest from the trees. None of this means it's not coming, and it's not coming in the relative near future. Now, I tell you guys what I know. What I don't have control over is when they have enough pallets and they decide to push it to distribution. Because from a strategic perspective, if they just send a handful of booster boxes and it's not a significant amount, I think everybody and their brother on YouTube has said, well, if Destin Rivals comes and the price goes down, I'm just going to buy them hand over fist. Well, unfortunately, that's fucking bullshit. Because as we saw with Paladin Fates booster bundles, when I sold the displays on Cyber Monday, I sold them for $8.99. The market was a little soft, and the bundles were as high as $1,300. I think I sold 10, 15, maybe 20 of the 80 or so displays I had listed. Nobody wanted to touch them. I could list every single one on the market today for $1,300 and probably sell them out in an hour, because that is the level of, how do I say this politely? The lack of sophistication of buyers in Pokemon. They buy the hype, they sell the fear, and they have it backwards, which is effectively the video I made last night. So if we get all of these booster boxes at the same time, and again, I know what we're getting for Phantasmal. I don't necessarily know Mega 1 or Destined, but it would make sense if they are shipping one out in mass quantity. They're going to hit all three at the same time. If you guys recall, the last time they did waived rollouts, it was because they were spending all of their extra time printing booster boxes. So what I will tell you, and I know multiple folks, including Rudy, have said, where are the booster boxes? It doesn't make any sense. Well, they didn't all of a sudden just stop printing booster boxes or stop hand stuffing booster boxes with temps, which every time I say that, it cracks me up. They're printing other things. They're using that capacity to print other booster boxes, and they're going to come to market. And everybody who's saying, I'm going to buy all these Destin Rivals booster boxes, you can. You can probably buy them cheaper than where they are today. I'm not sure that the price is going to go down to $200, $300, $400. All I know, and again, this is the video that I made about selling Destin, buying Perfect Order. One of the supporting items in there is the underperformance of Stellar Crown booster boxes in the last year, because there was a ton of it dumped into the market. Now, it didn't seem like a ton. There was a lot of folks who have distribution access saying that, well, I only got 15 cases, so there mustn't be that much out there. Well, guess what, assholes? There's a ton out there, and it had the impact of suppressing the price. Now, it didn't smash the price. It took the price from $270 down to $200. I'm not even sure we saw one handle on sales, but, $200, $210, and now we're back at $250. So it's round tripped in a year and with no return. So that is all that has to happen for this to be successful, because effectively there's no scenario, in my opinion, where the Pokemon Company is going to be able to make Destined Rivals affordable relative to other sets. It's just too good. There's going to be too much demand. However, they can put a cap on it, and they can shift the growth curve out a year, year and a half, 2 years, depending on how much they push into the market. And, with Phantasmal, for example, which is fucking $350+ now, they don't have to print. They don't have to push all 1.5 million boxes into the market. They can push them out in multiple waves, and we'll get a bundle from one distributor. We'll have another distributor that sells them at $150. I don't see a scenario where we're gonna have to pay more than $199 for these. Now, there's gonna be some room for them to come down, and I think a lot of the broke Timmy stores are gonna sell them relatively quickly because it's free money, and we'll see what happens. But the odds of this booster box, when this happens, being at materially more expensive than $375, $365, I guess, a year from now, is highly, highly unlikely. And if they do the same with Mega One, which they will, and they do the same with Destined Rivals, which they will, and for those of you who don't know, those reprints have already hit the EU. And yes, stores are like, well, we're only getting 6 cases or 7 cases. That's okay, because every single store is getting 6 or 7 cases. And there's more stores now than what there were when Destin came out. So when you take the total cumulative amount of those boxes, it's a lot of fucking product on the market, guys. And just because you live in your little Timmy silo and this is all you see, that doesn't mean that the total market of Pokemon isn't getting a massive amount of product. It is. We saw the proof of Surging Sparks, even though nobody specifically could point to the stack of Surging Sparks and say, well, I could open order it on, from Magazine Exchange for $65 a box because they were fire selling. No, the price was $100, $150, $199, $210 in some instances. But it capped the upside, so mission accomplished. It kept the product from going absolute batshit crazy for at least a year. And look, maybe they come out with some more. I tend to think probably not, but we don't know what we don't know. And, we know what happened last time in Sword and Shield era. In my opinion, I don't believe that they're going to do anything to smash the market. I don't believe if they wanted to, they could smash the market, because there is so much demand out there. They don't have a snowball's chance in hell of matching that with supply. All they can do is try to cap the upside and then continue to print the crap out of things today. And, quite honestly, they're kind of a victim of their own success. You keep putting out banger sets, people are going to want it. And, that's the beauty of all this, is people want the product. The prices go up, and there's not a whole hell of a lot that they can do right now to to move the prices backwards. All they can do is suppress the price from going up. And yes, when Destined Rivals comes out, I will buy all of it as well. But I will actually do it because I buy things on the down and I sell things on the up. But that's just the business I'm in. So anyway, guys, again, congratulations on the Sorcery team. Somebody brought this to my attention. I didn't believe it. So I have to make a video. I was wrong. You guys did a nice job on this. Hopefully you keep up the good work. The product's really cool. You just can't flood the market. And cash flow aside, you just can't do it. You keep doing this, people are going to buy the product. Because people buy it to play. They also buy it to collect. And, for those of you that are looking for the Q1 reprints, maybe they come in Q2. Maybe they come Monday. It doesn't matter. They're coming.